for the... Beyond nightmarish, the bedbugs. Why? Because they don't disappear. They are difficult to exterminate for some reason. Poison doesn't work. I don't know, Pillow. I've never lived in a house. I always lived in an apartment. And at city, so... That is the thing. Since I live at a city, maybe those are not that common instead. I mean, that skeleton is good. I'll need more potions. So, yeah, pretty much. Yellow worms. And what would make the... You have the face of a man who never seen a bedbug. No, I've never seen them. No. No, Pillow. I didn't have the I didn't have the pleasure of seeing one of them. No, because as indeed I've always lived in apartments, so high in the air, so bugs are generally, they appear when you live in a house at ground level, generally. The bedbug. The bedbug. You make it sound quite terrible, huh? You make it sound quite terrible, the bedbug. Wait. The bedbug appeared in an apartment or a house? At an apartment or a house we're talking about? It has to be a house at ground level. I tell you. Both! In apartment as well. I am third floor. Third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. Patrick, you live in house in your case. In village, and I never seen any bugs near my bed. What the fuck? Oh, well, there I cannot help you, Patrick. I am completely ignorant regarding that. I've never lived in houses. So, that's because that's not how these things operate. Oh. That's not how they operate. Then tell us how, Pillow. Tell us how they operate. The bedbug. So, they can attack an apartment as well. You get one on your clothes. You can find this in impoverished areas. You get one on your clothes, okay? Then you take it into your domicile, and there they reproduce, I presume. Okay, so they cling to your clothes, and they like... Pillow is weirdly smart about bugs. Indeed, he seems to be. He does seem to be. They usually stay dormant until they are in a group of 10. In your clothes. They remain in your clothes. They lab sweet enzymes. Okay. Okay. And sweat. Okay, sweat, not sweet. Okay. It's not sweet from rest of food on your... leftovers of food on your clothes. It's like the sweat from your armpits. Okay, like the sweat from your armpits, people. The sweat that all of us humans secrete, pretty much. The secretion of the human sweat. Okay. And they cling to your robes, to your clothes. Well, the same. Your robes, your clothes. And you bring them home, even if you are in an apartment. And then, Pillow? So, once they manage to build a small colony, they stay dormant until they are in a group of 10. Then, once they manage to build a small colony on your clothes, over at your wardrobe, probably, they operate like the Chinese... No. Nice one, Pillow. They operate like the Chinese. They build multiple small outposts from where they raid you and drink your blood which unless you have an allergy, you cannot sense. If you get to this level, you are done for. They kill you. They drink. They suck all of your. They suck all your blood. They get all over your place of living. Walls, beds. Damn. And they are invisible. They are like minuscule. Wardrobes. And they are like minuscule. Right below. They are like minuscule. You cannot see them. They are tiny. Are they visible to the human eye? Like a fly size. Okay, 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 okay. And they start drinking blood. Damn. Like early fly. Okay, 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 okay. And you don't realize, and they can take your hold. When they drink, once they don't have to drink again in their life, in their life, okay, in their lives, in that sense. Their entire purpose changes to reproduction. Okay, so they don't kill you. They don't kill you, they just then invade all of your home. Fuck. That is terrible. Holy cow. Holy cow. They can also go into a state where they can survive 6 months in -20 or -40 degrees without water or food, as long as they don't move. Motherfuckers, I wish I had, if I had that power I would be immortal, people, because I don't move a lot. If I had that, I wish I could do that, but the human brain takes way too much energy. I wish I could do that. Go into that state of hibernation, maybe playing some game like that. Not bad, not bad. And once they reproduce, they make about 70 new members of the colony. Damn it. And these hatch, they come out of the egg in various moments. Damn. Bed bugs. The eggs are nearly unkillable via poison or other chemical. So what does the exterminator do? What does the exterminator do? There has to be an exterminator who deals with them. Otherwise they would have killed all of the population. The only surefire way to kill the entire colony is to heat up the entire place to 50 degrees. Fuck. Because they always die in 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. We're talking about, people. We're talking about European Celsius, like we use here in Argentina, in that sense. Okay, so and you have to leave home at that point. 50 degrees is like you end up fainting at 50 degrees, I think. You end up fainting. Pretty much. At 45 it's already difficult to breathe, but at 50 it's right there on the limit. You can take it a bit, but at 50 you can barely survive. They also are built in such a way that they spread no diseases. Damn. Well, at least they have a positive thing, then. At least they have one positive aspect below. They don't spread that. There we go, people, finally. Good. The Arcane Sanctuary. I always forget about this part. This will take us to the Tomb of Tal Rasha. Because of that, governments are less likely to act on it. It's not positive. They need a host to be parasitive about. Okay, just like the Chinese Communist Party. Indeed, on that we agree. On that we fucking agree. On that we fucking agree indeed. On that we fucking agree indeed. 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 Exactly the same. 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 And if one bedbug survives, they start the cycle all over again. It can remake the entire colony from the ground up. Damn. And because they don't spread the diseases, the governments underestimate them. Okay. Okay. Okay, because they since they don't spread the disease. Okay, we recovered the merchants here. Since they don't spread the diseases, the governments take them lightly. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, 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 okay.
Yes.
I saw an apartment where there was about 10,000 specimens. Damn. And a very high tenant. He was drunk, who just learned to live with them. Well, no, no, well, pillow, no. That one is a... that, that motherfucker is poor guy, you know. He's he, he has a problem in life, a clear, severe problem in life. Pillow, a clear, severe problem in life. In that sense, no, no, no. If he knew of their existence and learned to live with them. When I walked in, I saw a Roman-sized army circling the salt ring. How? He made a salt circle around himself. When I walked in, I saw a Roman-sized army circling the salt ring. Well, at least you remember my ancestors. As they died, they climbed over their dead bodies and slowly traversed the rock. No, please, no, no. How? Because it's unhealthy. When I saw that, I seriously contemplated my life choices. Well, good. Well, so then you have to understand that the person had a severe psychological problem with his life, and promptly threw the eviction notice in, closing the door. Okay. No. No. Okay, okay, okay. And went to a washing machine place and dressed to pants and ensured that none of them was on your clothes. Okay, okay, okay. Now and sat in the toilet for 30 minutes. Good. That is generally a healthy practice to do. No, I agree with your measures of how you handle the situation. Went it in only underpants. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's understandable because of the situation. Horrorized two ladies. Well, no, no. Why a private toilet, right? A private toilet, and took on my wet clothes, already ensuring that the thingies weren't in there, the ladybugs, the bed bags. So you probably had to throw in the eviction notice because of your to the tenant because of your job. I see. I see. I see. I see. I bet at least one motherfucker made it for me. No, 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 no. One of the bugs made it. It survived. Why do you know? Don't tell me that then they invaded you. I told him off, then called the cops. No. Uh, the problem is that the only cop there is the exterminator. And you say that they don't take them seriously. That's a terrible idea. Well, well, well. No, definitely. I cannot say that I've seen something like that in my life, as I think here at least. That would be definitely there would definitely be in my city. What was it? Imagine if for some worms, good on you. No, imagine Pillow, if for some worms a lot of people got horrorized over at the trash bin. Imagine that shit. Imagine that shit. Like, at least in my city, someone would call they are worse than Mongols. Those are very high words. Those are very that's thinking very high of them in their effort to ruin someone else's life. But according to what you described, yeah, pretty much. No, here that would someone would call the police for real, and they would break into the apartment, and the person would definitely be forced to accept an extermination of the bugs. We are the ones that do it. You have to break the door if the person does not let you, by vote of the assembly of the condo management, as is it is horizontal property, and the manager, me, pretty much, not me, my mother in my case, but once I inherit me, uh, the manager has to break in and force the extermination. The guy who you left the eviction notice to, if he was in an apartment, the manager of the condo of the apartment, of the complex of apartments, the manager, he's terrible. He's doing something illegal. He has to force the extermination. He has to break in the door, break into the apartment. He has to do it and force the extermination through whichever method is needed. In my cities like that. Otherwise, you cannot do it. You cannot say no. You just cannot say no. You can. People can then call the police, and you have to open the door and let the manager enter with an exterminator. Pillow. You have to let the manager enter with the exterminator. It's not an option. It's not an option. It's not an option for the tenants, or even if it's the owner of the property. Even if it's the owner, they need to open up. In that sense, even if they say no, I don't want to open the door, or etc., they have to. They have to. They have to. They have to 100%. It's not something that you can choose to avoid in that sense. It's not something that you can choose to avoid in that sense. Pretty much. It's not something that you can say no. I don't open you the door. So yeah, pretty much. It's not something that you can say no. What's the scariest animal? You know, well, you will probably laugh at it, but scariest. You mean like I have seen in real life? Like I have seen in real life? Or you mean like that I can think of? That I can think of. The scariest I've seen in real life? Or that I know. That I've seen in real life? Ironically, not a fly, but I don't know if you know them. A mosquito? Do you know the mosquito? Like very small mosquito instead of fly? The fly? Yes. Well, that thing does carry illnesses. It's the biggest human killer in the history of humanity, and they are quite small. So they also drink blood. Their sting has a very minuscule amount of poison, but the thing is that they carry the illnesses. They can carry life-threatening illnesses, and they can basically kill you with the bite, with the sting that they do. Not because of the poison, because the sting has very little poison. But the thing is that they can carry all illnesses. Freshwater snails are by far the scariest. Do they sting? A snail? You don't like snails? I've seen snails. I've seen snails. In that sense, the snail with the shell. They carry neurological diseases and poisons that turn your brain into mush. Okay. Okay, the snails. You don't even have to consume them. No, of course, no. Generally, what people do, the classic is touching one of the antennas, because when you touch one of the antennas, they kids generally do that. I've seen it done. They retract it inside, and that is like, it looks funny to do because you touch and it moves inside, and it retracts inside, and it can poison you, as you are perfectly describing. And people do it like, I've even seen adults do that shit. Like, oh, poop. Let's touch the antenna of the snail because it has like a bulb at the tip. Let's touch it, and it retracts inside, and there you can get poisoned. Pretty much. Of some snails. Never do that, people. Never touch. I know it's tempting because they have the two antennas up like this with a bulb, and you do it. You just touch the tip, and it gets inside. But never do it. Never do that shit. Never do that shit. Never do that shit, because if the snail has the poison as he's perfectly describing, depending on which species it is highly dangerous. The same with toads. Before they carry neurological disease and turn your brain into mush. Well, then the snails. I didn't know that. Then the snails. That's why they are so mushy, because they have like the neurological diseases in them. That explains why they are so mushy and so like gelatinous, like a slime. Ever heard of the Rizzler? Now that's scary. They are partly immune to them, but we ain't. No, I don't know what the Rizzler is. No, no, I don't know what the Rizzler would be. An illness that they carry, I presume. Like an illness that they have. That they carry and they transmit to you. You'll have to look it up. Okay. The Rizzler. It might get banned here. No, of course I'm not. No. Of course no, please, Bill. Took me a lot of effort to reach affiliate. No. Yes, it's integral for the conversation. You always do the same, Pillow. You drop a crazy weird concept, then get all agitated for me to look it up for the sake of the conversation. I mean, if we start talking about the STD, this sexual transmission diseases, 3 dots. Yes, pretty much. It's always that pattern. Let me look it up. But if the game freezes, tell me, because I cannot see it. If then the game freezes, tell me, because I had to restart it. Huh? Please don't tell me. Sure. If the game freezes, because it's an old game, and last time when I alt tabbed, it also froze. The fuck, no, there. The result. It's a fucking movie. Rizzler with an R at the end. Christian Joseph, known as the Rizzler, is an American personality from New Jersey. He's known as Rizzface. He's a comedian. American social media personality. The Rizzler and the creeping childishness of pop culture? What the fuck? Is the Rizzler... What the fuck? Content creator. A content creator, you mean? What was your original phrase? Ever heard of the Rizzler? Christian Joseph, known online as the Rizzler, is an American social media personality from New Jersey. He's best known for his Riz face, an expression where he squints his eyes while stroking his chin and pursing his lips. A comedian who makes like faces. Is that one? Trolled. What the fuck? It says it's you do have the Riz though. What the fuck is the Riz though? Bello, if you start talking in tell me if the game gets frozen. I'm not watching. I'm not checking any other link of you ever again. Sorry, not link. Anything that you tell me is integral for the conversation or anything. Not happening ever again. XD, yeah, not happening ever again. LOL, yeah, indeed, not happening ever again. I don't know what you gained from that, because the next time you tell me about a link, I will just tell you forever. Not gonna check it out ever again. Is your fridge running? Yeah, it's outside of my house. Now I will go catch it. By the way, I didn't see his face, eh? I didn't see his face. Fucking Gojudo. I didn't see his face. I just read the Wikipedia description. I didn't see his face. I just read the description. In case you are interested, maybe I read the description of the faces he does. It's enough. A comedian, like who makes faces. That. And you watch Pillow. If you spend even a second of your time watching, knowing about the existence of all of it, brain rot has infected you. What the fuck? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Pillow, you start talking in internet language, and you know that I'm from the 90s. All of that language for me doesn't exist. I'm not gonna check that shit ever again. Why do you check out that shit? Do not watch that shit. It you are wasting your precious lifetime with those degenerates from social media. That's why I would bomb all servers about TikTok and the others. They just melt people's brain. I'm so happy then living in the 90s. And no brain rot, because I'm not gonna check it ever again. Short or long answer. About what? Pillow, don't waste your time watching all of that shit. It infects your brain, like you are saying. It makes you waste your precious lifetime with all of that shit. You're an intelligent person. Do not watch that shit. Social media personality. If I was social media person, another illiterate on social media who didn't get enough attention by his parents, potentially, or worse, I don't know, or he's just consuming candy all day and doesn't even know what the fuck he's thinking. In that sense, don't waste your precious lifetime, people, with any of those so-called social media influencers of TikTok or etc. That's why I would go back to the 90s. I would go back to the 90s, people. That's why. We had perfect cartoons for kids back then. See, I still watch cartoons. I don't watch anything past 2010. And see how happy I am. I don't know about all of this shit stuff that he mentions to me in a lot of cases. Oh, it's long one. So, the short and long answer. Humans indulge in internet culture and memes as a response to the absurdity of existence. Oh, no. Existence is not absurd. That's nihilism. That's nihilism. Not finding purpose in human existence. No. All life serves a purpose. Echoing Camus's world. No. That's only outside of the Roman Empire. The Germanic tradition. Notion of the absurd. Confronted with the chaotic, indifferent world. No, it's not indifferent. And we create small islands of shared understanding where humor transforms anxiety into recognition. Memes function as Wittgensteinian language games, mini structures of meaning in which comprehension signals social membership and miscomprehension marks the outsider. I agree on that final part in which people are trapped into all of this. Yes, that is like a tribe mentality. But I will tell you what, um, in Spanish and Italian societies, it's impossible. They enact a Nietzschean, Dionysian play, indeed embracing chaos, irony, and laughter as a counterbalance to the Apollonian rigidity of societal forms. In their circulation, memes operate as baudrillardy and simulacra. Their significance lies not in referential truth, but in their endless mutation and symbolic propagation. Yes, that part is true, and I think it's all brutally, morally wrong and because of that, it's utter stupidity. Because why would be, yeah, it of course demands a long answer, as it's a very comprehensive topic. Moreover, the memes can be seen through a Heideggerian lens of being in the world. They mediate our engagement with existence, letting us momentarily confront finitude, alienation, and the spectacle of modern life while still asserting agency in a network space. Okay, but here's my moral criticism to it, and why I would bomb the server. I would bomb the servers and go back to the 90s. People are looking outside of them, something that they should be looking inside. That is the problem with the memes. They are looking for acceptance. You can't come back, Jack. He ends up going back to the past, Samurai Jack, and making it right. Great Samurai Jack, always amazing. No, they are looking for recognition outside of them from society, with the memes of that feeling of tribal culture, of feeling part of something, when they should be looking for all of that inside of them, with the education that their parents gave them as children, and they didn't, because we have a terrible generation of parents. Did the stream get a frozen pillow? Did the stream get frozen pillow, just in case? No. Okay, perfect. Then let me. They also echo Derrida's difference. Okay, thank you. Constantly differing meaning, slipping between signifier and signified, leaving interpretation perpetually open. In essence, a meme culture is a postmodern existential ritual, simultaneously playful, cathartic, and profoundly human, a space where identity, community, and absurdity intersect in fleeting, self-aware communion. I don't think it's that healthy. I don't think it's that healthy, because I think family is the core unit of society, not someone that you find, that you meet over the internet for a meme. I think all of those people had terrible parents who didn't spend enough time with their kids, and they are reflecting the lack of attention by their parents as children. Sorry if I am harsh with them, with the memes. The memes don't do, are not like candy, are not terribly toxic or something that is gonna kill people, but it is true that psychologically I do think they cause a damage, this culture that we have nowadays. Why? Because of what I told you. Birds of feather flock together, not in Rome, not in Italy, not in Spain, not in Portugal, not in Argentina, not in anyone who inherited the individualism of the Roman Empire. That is Germanic tradition. But in Argentina they apparently do. No, oh, trust me, we don't. We don't. We definitely don't. We don't. We definitely don't. Fortunately, we definitely don't. We definitely don't. The family is the core unit of society. Trust me. Trust me, shit like that. I don't like to believe in cultural determinism. Oh well, then pretty much you agree with me that the culture, you don't like to believe in it, so that the culture cannot overwrite the teachings of the family for children. Then on that we agree, pretty much. Or you meant it like because of the Roman Empire, signifying that we we are more individualistic. Nah, you meant it like that. Okay. No, no, it's not. It's not cultural, because it comes from the families, from the original families of Rome. Unless you live in China, it doesn't matter, because it comes from the families of Rome. It doesn't come from the state. It's not cultural, because cultural generally is imposed by the state. Do you live in China? No, never. I would bomb China probably. Are you a real man of Xi Jinping? No, you should ask your friend. Which one was it? the dog shocker, that one, the dog shocker Hassan, who says that China is the best thing in the world. Great idea, especially for the market, especially for the economy of a country doing it like fucking China, in which all of the companies are just fronts for the state to parasite them all. Flying Energy is rating you with a party of 14. Flying Energy, oh, Flying Energy to make me feel terrible with those rates because of due to my time zone. I cannot do so. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Nice, have fun, says Pillow. Pillow, when more people join the stream, you run away. Bad. Why? Okay, no worries if you have to go and work. Thank you for the chat, and if I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. In that sense, Pillow. If I don't see you, and well, I return January 13th. In that sense. Flying Energies, how are you doing? How's Ashes of Creation going? And once again, deep sorry that my fucking time zone difference impedes me to fucking raid you every single day of my life. Pretty much. In that sense. For example, right now for me it's 7:40 p.m. only 2 hours of a stream. I cannot stop at 2 hours. In that sense. Besides, if I do it, I would send Pillow to you, for example, here, Patreon, and they would also be as late as you are, in that sense. How have you been? Hopefully the Ashes of Creation is treating you well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those of you who are new, Flying Energies is a great guy. Check him out. Anyone over at YouTube that just subscribed, and over at Twitch. In my case, I am a scholastic philosopher. Love the game, actually. Good. Can't stop playing. Good. Question of the century, Flying Energies. You told me that tap targeting combat was impossible for you, that you couldn't tolerate it. Did that game help you overcome the limitation of hating, of not being able to endure, not hate, the tap targeting combat? Ashes of Creation changed your mind. Good, you can now play tap targeting combat systems and enjoy them. You can now enjoy tap targeting combat, or are you using the action? Yes. Good. Good. That makes me deeply happy. That makes me deeply happy. Because tap targeting is indeed my favorite combat system. Good. 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 I always love tap targeting. Good. You had the option and you chose tap targeting. Good. Good. This is amazing. Good. Good. People, I want you all, everyone watching, to learn from what he's describing. That is what happens when we embrace variety of games and not just play a single game for all of our lives. That is the brilliant, fascinating phenomenon that we experience in that sense, people. So learn from that. Learn from that, people, what he's saying, that I comment to you every single night. Explore different combat systems. Don't be like David Walgrave, the Belgian developer of Baldur's Gate 3, that he prostituted the saga of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 in his ignorance, saying, I think I just lost all of the viewers that Flying Energies could have sent me through the raid. Sorry, Flying Energies. That he prostituted, yes, that he prostituted with Baldur's Gate 3, saying that we original fans of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, we liked archaic, old combat systems. All that real time with pause was an archaic, non-updated combat system, and that it didn't deserve to be in Baldur's Gate 3. Don't be like him. Don't be like him. Be like Flying Energies. Be like Flying Energies, that he didn't like tab targeting, he explored it, and he is now enjoying it. Don't be like David Walgrave, the Belgian producer of Baldur's Gate 3, insulting us all. Be like Flying Energies, that he overcame it. As I always mention, ever since in my case I did it instinctively since I was a kid. But good. Like that. Explore the different combat systems. Don't say that for example, I had that problem. Huh? People don't think that I didn't have that problem. I had that problem with 2D games. I couldn't play 2D games as a kid, because I was used to 3D games post PlayStation 1. In that sense, I had that problem with 2D games, side-scrolling from left to right, and then I managed to overcome it as I saw them and learned about them and understood that they were needed, and not only needed, but their own style compared to 3D ones, and that 3D ones wouldn't exist without them. And that the original, I didn't play the original Mario Bros as a kid. I played it in retrospective. The same with the original Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, and etc, etc, etc. So, pretty much, just like I overcame that, and Flying Energies, the tab targeting, in the case of the tab targeting combat, I always loved it, since 16, with Star Wars The Republic. And just like you could overcome that, you can do so as well, and dissipate any ignorance of being limited to a single genre, and that way you will be able to tell the objective quality of the games, in that sense. So, deeply happy that you are playing it with tab targeting. You can also use your mouse for tab targeting, which is what I do. I'm quite fast. That is generally called a macroer, if you do it like that, Flying Energies. You don't need me to tell you, but it's pretty much like that, a macroer. I am a clicker instead. I click on the buttons instead of using 1, 2, 3 and the arrow keys of my keyboard. I use WASD and I click, and I am quite fast. I am so fast, I kill a lot of people offline in Star Wars The Republic since I was 16. By the time I was 18, I had killed 50,000. The Manhunter title, people. Yes, indeed. So you pull the mobs with the mouse, with the bow, then use the tab target while all the mobs are around you, with the two hands around us, because you're playing with another one that is acting as a tank, and you were healing. You are now the tank with a two-handed sword. Okay. You are now acting more like a tank. Good. You are now acting more like a tank than if you're the one pulling the mobs. Okay. Fighter DPS. With the bow you pull the mobs. Okay, now you are not healing, because in the video I saw you were healing. That I watched, you were healing. But tank can pull also. Okay. Good. So you are doing DPS. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. As I told you, I'm a clicker. I don't use 1, 2, 3 for the abilities. I instead click on the abilities. And instead of the arrow keys, I use WASD. I do it like since I was 16, so for me it's second nature by now, tap targeting combat. But you managed to enjoy tap targeting combat. Tell me, did you find the enjoyment in having a sequential rotation? What I mention every day about the abstract complexity of MMORPGs. Having to execute the abilities, the one assigned for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., to a specific, executing them in a specific order, because that's what I like. Generally, MMORPGs like that. No, let me click on the portal. Generally, MMORPGs like that force the player to execute the abilities in a specific order, to exponentially enhance the damage in that sense, in comparison. That adds the abstract complexity. That's what I love about those systems. Flying energies. Yes, I will have my own order later on. By now, I use default. Well, that is my favorite part. The fact that you have to execute the abilities in a specific order. For now, you must be of a low-level character, maybe, and you don't have access to the full rotation. That is the concept of a sequential rotation. It's magnificent, people, if you think about it. Because, take Diablo here, for example. I can execute my abilities, my basic attack here. Yes, exactly. Well, it's that. See that? You must have at least flying energies. You have to tell me that you remember me for a second for all the fucking times I criticized Drakensang Online and other games for not executing the sequential rotation. Now you understand it. This is incredible. This is incredible. This is the first MMORPG that you play with tap targeting and sequential rotations. It will be a very special game for you, then I can assure you, if that's the case. Precisely because of this. Because it adds an abstract complexity. Yup, you remember me, Lou. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, that one warms my heart because I've repeated that to death, I think. I repeated it so many times when I played Drakensang Online. I remember it's a magnificent phenomenon of nature when you see that the damage is enhanced by the sequential rotation, because it has a degree of abstract complexity that you simply cannot have in an isometric action RPG like Diablo, for example. It may have other abstract complexities like the source of the difficulty. Yes, it's your first game actually, if you count World of Warcraft until level 20 in a free trial, then no. Until level 20 you didn't have access to a full rotation in World of Warcraft. No. The key will be you still haven't tapped into the potential. So the yap Lul was when you remember with that one. And then yes, it's your first game actually with the tap targeting combat sequential rotation. The only other you tried was World of Warcraft until level 20. Okay, so flying energies. Once you unlock the full sequential rotation and start dwelling into the skill tree, there you will find the true beauty of the system. You still haven't seen it. You still haven't seen it because you still don't have access to the full complexity of the rotation because of the leveling first, and the game is in early access, is still all of that. Once the game matures a bit and you level up and get access to your full rotation, well, there you will. I predict you will be playing the game for a lot of years. Then, much more than Drakensang Online. Once the game launches, we get to level 50, so much more skills. The level is like capped. It still doesn't let you reach 50. Okay, so it tries to simulate an old school MMORPG. Star Wars: The Republic started like that. Then they will probably expand it. So far, level 25 is the max. We have around 20 skills. Okay, no. That is still limited. Okay. Okay. You still don't have a full sequential rotation, so the abstract complexity of the game system hasn't been fully exploited. Okay, 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 okay. Once it happens, I predict you will spend a lot of time with the game. Mm. Precisely because of the abstract complexity that a sequential rotation brings. When you no you were here when I played Star Wars The Republic. That I remember you told me what was your phrase? Finally a normal game. Finally a normal game in the stream. Contrary to Dragon's Sang Online was the idea. So there you saw the tap targeting. It's like that. It's like that. Yeah, that's what you said, Flying Energy. I told you I have photographic memory. Finally! And smash the table. Finally, a normal game being displayed on stream because I was coming from 2 days of Dragon's Sang Online all of the weeks. I was playing it fully back then because it was the main case of analysis. Finally, a fucking normal game on stream instead of Dragon's Sang Online, and there you saw it targeting with Star Wars: Your Republic, and then I asked you, and you don't like tap targeting for a game to choose, and you told me, no tap targeting, hard pass, no, no, you like more action-oriented ones. I told you, no, it's the most beautiful system ever. Well. I am deeply glad that it turned out to be like that. But because I thought you were using the action system that you showed me, the other day, that you were using the action system in that sense. No, deeply happy then, if you're using the tap targeting system and you are enjoying it. And you will enjoy it much more once you can play the complete version of the game. Once you can play the complete version of the game, in that sense, because there, as I tell you, the abstract complexity will be much higher than these games, than isometric action RPG games. Because here you can see that I'm using one or two abilities, but the degree of efficiency in the interconnection that they have is naturally lower. It's naturally lower, because in that sense, yes, you can execute one or two abilities, but they don't affect each other. They don't affect each other. Only the Frost build of Dragon's Sang Online affected each other, and that affected each other in between the abilities internally. And that is very, very limited in that sense. So yeah, it has a logical explanation. So I feel deeply happy because that's what I do on stream. Expanding! Precisely. The horizons. Of what games to play is fascinating. Nothing fills me more than that, precisely because of that. Oh, good. Good if I somehow manage to dissipate that stigma against tap targeting, I guess. It was also probably you trying out the game, having the disposition, the will to do so, of course. But I feel good that at least you saw Star Wars: The Republic, for example, or WoW with a complete rotation for that. I feel glad for that. I feel glad for that. Because don't you feel better now, Flying Energies, that you discovered a new genre for you to enjoy? Now you can play a reverse engineered offline World of Warcraft server, for example, not on stream because that can get you banned. That's why I don't do it. But privately offline for you, for example, or I don't know, or many other. Now you have a universe for you. You have Ion. You have Ion 1. They were developing the second one, I think, something like that. I need to try Ion 1. I could never try it, and they say it has the most exquisite tap targeting combat ever done. By the way, people, you know that I don't target with tab. I showed it the other day as I did the final boss of Star Wars: The Republic of the expansion on Master Mode. I target with E, actually. I target with E, and I use my mouse. And that way I'm faster, but well, I do it since 16 years. It's like, it took me a lot of time to perfect it. Yeah, 42 hours so far in Ashes of Creation. So what do you think, Kappa? I think it will be nothing. It will be nothing compared to what you will spend. 6 days since release. Perfect. It's perfectly fine. It's like that. It's good. Good. I feel deeply happy. I feel deeply happy that you eliminated that stigma like I had that stigma with 2D games, with 2D platformers, side-scrolling platformers, when I was a kid. And I could fortunately get rid of it, and it gave me a lot of happiness in that sense. It's good, people. Learn from what we are talking about. Explore the different genres. You don't have to like all genres, of course. For example, I would never like survival horror. It bores me because it has no combat. I need combat. I need to be constantly fighting, challenging the system of the combat system of the game. But in that case, that's why I say that tap targeting with a properly developed skill tree is the highest degree of abstract complexity that a game can have that an RPG can have in the framework of its combat system. Why? Because, for example, you activate arcane missiles in World of Warcraft. No, sorry, you activate the arcane blast, and that makes your arcane missiles being channeled for 2 seconds instead of 3, or something like that. By the way, Flying Energies, you will have to get used to some new concepts. For example, the concept of which one was it? Of casting time, of alacrity in Star Wars: The Republic, the amount of time it takes for you to cast, and the concept of a global cooldown. You have to explore. It's fascinating. I didn't know this. In MMORPGs with the tab targeting system, some abilities are affected by a global cooldown, which can be 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds, and other abilities that are not affected by the global cooldown. This is one of the greatest creations of World of Warcraft, when it revolutionized the MMORPG world with this system. Some abilities, you will notice, Flying Energies, once they unlock it all, that are activated instantly, and others are tied to a global cooldown. We don't have that in Drakensang or isometric action RPG games, for example. That also adds complexity, because it changes the pacing of the gameplay. It can make some rotations slower, others faster, others unviable because of it. So you'll see all of those weird concepts. But remember them, the global cooldown and the instant cooldown. Some abilities, generally the ones that provide you, if it follows the formula of World of Warcraft, some abilities, the defensive abilities, the cooldowns, the cities, will they will be activated instantly, while the abilities of your rotation that deal your main damage are affected by the global cooldown. You can reduce in a lot of MMORPGs the global cooldown, so your attacks are faster, replacing the concept of attack speed in isometric action RPG games like Diablo here, for example. But it's a much more complex concept, the global cooldown, because then, depending on how the developer creates the formula of it, it can be by default 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds, 1.2 seconds, and you will have to do the math to see if you can reduce it so you can attack faster. The concept of attack speed is handled like that. The concept of time is different in MMORPGs than isometric action RPG games. They are fascinating phenomena, people, that you can see why I'm so passionate about them, because they are quite complex. That's why when I say that David Walgrave, the producer, the Belgian producer of Baldur's Gate 3, is an ignorant who insulted us all, the OG fans of Baldur's Gate. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's an ignorant in that sense, because he doesn't understand how the concept of time was handled in real-time systems, calling them archaic and updated in that sense and old. He doesn't understand why they were designed like that in that sense. For example, here in Diablo, how is the concept of time and attack speed handled? Well, Eraser, you are getting too deep into it. You just click and attack. Basically, it's not as simple as that, people. You know that Diablo here still internally had turns inside of it. It had a clock. It had a clock in it. It had a clock in it. And David Brevik, a true genius, not like David Walgrave from Baldur's Gate 3, he turned the clock down to 0 and created the real-time combat system in Diablo 1. But the turns are internally there. The turns are still there. It's just that they take 0 seconds internally, the clock. That is the key. That is pretty much the key. That is pretty much the key, people. That is pretty much the key. So you'll have all of that flying energy, but I feel deeply happy for you. Deeply happy for you, because you are now exploring a combat system that will enrich you as a player a lot, because it will have more abstract complexity. I feel deeply happy. Fortunately, you are not the first person who explores other genres after precisely listening to my crazy talks, I guess. It also has to do with you deciding to choose to do so. Of course, I won't take any merit from that at all. But if in any small, minuscule, pathetic proportion my crazy chats contributed, I feel proud. I'm sorry, I cannot help it. It's like that, people. While criticizing Dragonsang online, finally a real game. Finally streaming a real game. No, in Dragonsang Online, people, District told me that they went full crazy and are selling mounts for I don't know how many euros. They went crazy. Full pay to win. And like, they really want to lose all of our fucking player base. But well, now you have a new dimension for you. The same will happen to you if you play Nintendo games, Flying Energies. If you play console games. The day you also start playing more console games, like Pokemon and etc., the same will happen probably. People, just so you know, when I recommend all of this, is knowing the quality of the game, that I played it before, otherwise I don't do so. When you try some Nintendo games, you'll see. Game Boy Advance isometric action RPG games, for example, few people know them, they are amazing. Things like Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand, Yuka and the Monophonic Menace, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the Game Boy Advance as well. It's a different version than the console's version. Like that, it will be flying energies. But yeah, for now, I think you can dedicate the rest of your life to tap targeting combat MMORPGs like I do. No, I played other games and other genres, but that one is still my favorite alongside real-time strategy. For example, real-time strategy, people. My other favorite genre alongside MMORPGs. Here, has anyone been able, you liked Warcraft, I think, though. Here, has anyone been able to beat Warcraft 3 on the highest difficulty? You have to do so. It's a life experience that you need to go through if you like video games. The same for Age of Empires. The same for Age of Empires. So yeah. Real-time strategy, tap targeting combat systems. I propose going back to them rather than what we have nowadays. Of simplicity for the sake of it. For the sake of just I don't know. Ensuring that the player finishes the game. No, we need complexity, people, to challenge our brains, our ideas, our worldviews, our everything, our taste in video games. So deeply glad, deeply glad that game Ashes of Creation. Then I need to maybe not try it now because it's in early access or etc., but maybe in some 5 years or something like that. Check it out. It's just that I have my hands full, people. I still haven't played Ion. I like going in order. First Ion. That's a crime. See how I think? I think of them of not going in order like crimes, people. In that sense, I like going in order because it lets me appreciate then the improvements that they bring to the table. Aeon 2 is coming in 2026. Damn. I have to play Aeon 1 before that then. Well, damn. And that one will be tap targeting, I bet. Flying energies, huh? I bet that one will be tap targeting. Because Ion, if there's one thing that made Ion popular, one is the supposedly having the most refined tap targeting combat system. So I highly doubt they will change it. That's good. That's good. That's good. That one is the one game, Ion 1, the one that hybrid combat, but in settings you can choose Ion's 1 combat. Then it's perfect. Then it has tap targeting. So they are now going for this. I see. This is a new modern tendency I didn't know of. So now the MMORPGs are like trying to absorb those of us who liked tap targeting combat more. I also played Skyrim with action combat and I can appreciate it. For example, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning was like this, and it's also a good one. Or Dragon Age or whatever. So they are now doing both systems to attract both player bases. Good. See people, the developers of all of these MMORPG games are more intelligent than David Walgrave, the producer of Baldur's Gate 3. So, yes, sorry people. If you are on my stream, I have to add one rule for next year. In the summer I will do. In this stream, Baldur's Gate 3 is hated. Yes, indeed. Baldur's Gate 3 will be bashed in this stream. See that they brought the 2 combat systems. So they have action oriented for those who like, who come from Skyrim, And then you have tab targeting for those of us who, while I played Skyrim and I need to play here on stream, I want to showcase an ultra modded version of Morrowind and Oblivion, of course, at the highest difficulty, at 100% difficulty. I played them. I want to do a 100% completion though of them. I never did that. Didn't have time, people. Fucking law school is to blame, and and high school as well, and me getting good grades, pretty much. So while I play those and can appreciate that system, it is true that tab targeting, I think, has it's unbeatable. It's unbeatable. Why? Because once you remove the the element of aiming, there's a summoner. We need to kill that one. The element of aiming in an MMORPG, you can focus on the quality of the interconnection of the abilities, 100%, and that enhances the quality to a degree that is generally not taken into account, and I think it's a terrible mistake. I think there's a huge ocean of difference in quality between the degree of efficiency in integration of abilities of something like Diablo or Titan Quest or any isometric action RPG game and World of Warcraft. There's a reason people like to say that World of Warcraft is successful because all of us who like the system, we are all idiots, or we are all like just addicted to it for some, but they never get to why. The why is this, people, that the degree of efficiency in the interconnection of the rotation, it is higher in World of Warcraft than in Diablo 3, for example, or Diablo 2. It is higher. You have to execute the abilities in a specific sequence. Here you can just spam any attack, even this modded version or something like Path of Exile. In that sense, forcing a specific order is addictive because it enhances the extra complexity of the gameplay mechanics. That is the key. That is the key. Ah, there's the boss. There's the boss. I think I have no potions for him, but let's see. Ah, no, it's not the boss. Then where's the boss? Has to be over there. Oh, we have some specters here. That one, right there. Good. I need to get closer for full damage. That should do it. So yeah, pretty much. It's like that. There we go. Exit. Good. Good. The symbols of the Tomb of Tal Rasha, people. Look at that. That one is not dying. What's this? And map clear with the exact amount of potions. Yeah. You can use Ions once combat. Good. Then I need to play Ion.
Horizon's urinal? Oh, journal. Yes, well, glad you found it. Such a shame about those poor Harrow girls, huh? I shall miss them deeply. I mean, their conversations, of course. Such is always the fate of those who meddle with evil.
See, people, nowadays this dialogue voice line would be considered offensive against Middle East religions. You cannot include dialogues like that he missed the girls because of their conversations. See, there was much more freedom back then. It is comments like this that will ensure that I'm never a completely popular person in this world. Well, you know that my great grandpa was Syrian, one of my great grandpas was Syrian, so I know what I talk about. He came here, escaping that horror. So, pretty much.
I feel no pity for that would-be summoner. His terrible ambition for demonic power was his undoing. You merely hastened the inevitable. Faith is stronger than any armor. The shield will protect the body, but faith will strengthen the courageous heart.
Oh no. Let's see. Done and done. Both done. Take the stuff into Tal Rasha's tomb. This is basically the final quest. Let's go, people. So, did I buy potions? Yes. We'll finish chapter 2 today, probably. Horace. There we go. Increase the volume, people. They speak loudly. Low.
In my arcane sanctuary are the signs of the 6 false tombs. The missing 7th sign marks the tomb of Tal Rasha. Of the Herodrum, he might be called the foremost. It was a shining but brief moment for the mage clans when they set aside their differences and worked together against the common enemy. The Herodrum relentlessly pursued the 3 across the desolate empires of the east and even into the uncharted lands of the west, leaving the Archangel Tyrael's hands unblemished. Presuming the 3 to be vanquished, the Herodrum's unstable fellowship began to dissipate. Abandoning their sacred charge to safeguard the 3 soul stones, the disparate mage clans began to squabble amongst each other over petty differences. Their conflicts not only dissolved their brotherhood, but strengthened the evils which they had buried beneath the cold earth.
We don't get narrators like that anymore, people. We don't get narrators like that anymore. Canyon of the Magi. Canyon of the Magi. Good. Good, people. The Tombs of Tal Rasha. Have you ever heard the legend of the 7 Tombs of Tal Rasha? You don't know them. Did you pay attention to the symbols there? Because I didn't. And we're going to get lost into the Tombs of Tal Rasha. This is a solemn moment. For anyone who has never experienced it in Diablo 2. Solemn moment, people. Of a classic. We will get lost in the tombs as I didn't fucking pay attention. There you have the symbols as well. So it's the one that is not in here. I know, yeah, they are 7. So you compare them like this, the square, that one, the U, the circle, this B, this triangle, and this one, you can see that they are 6, but then here you have 7. So there's one here that is not in any of these 6. See how subtle it was. So which one is it? Has to be this one. Has to be this one. This like shuriken. It's like a shuriken. This one is like a shuriken here. Like those stars. Here is this one. It's this one. Though you can barely pay. Imagine this in a PC in the early 2000s. You couldn't tell. You couldn't fucking tell which one was the Tomb of Tal Rasha. So let us search for the Tomb of Tal Rasha, people. Let's search for the Tomb of Tal Rasha. Kill anything in our way. Tal Rasha's tomb. Could it be? Oh, I don't see the symbols because it's also at night. Where is it? I think it's this one. I cannot see the symbols up there. They are on top of it. I cannot see the symbols because it's during the night. They are here, the symbols on top of it. During the night you cannot see them. Fuck. I know, here they are. They are outside here. They are also on top, but they're here outside. I think it's not that one. Here? Uh-huh. See that you can barely see them? No, it's not that one. Tal Raja's tomb. Let me see. Is this one? Is this one because it's marked there? Ah, I see. In the mod they changed it. See that this one is in green. Is the correct one? Okay, okay. That's a bit of cheating. Well, no worries. Anyways, is this one? See that is that like a shuriken? Is this one? I won't make you go through the torture of like in the early 2000s. Find the Tomb of Tal Rasha, player. Go on, go on. You won't be able to see shit because of low resolution to the images, but yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. Welcome to the real Tomb of Tal Rasha, people. Listen. I won't make you go through that torture now. See, you have a good driver. Giving you this tour through Diablo 2. So it is fun, huh? To go through the fake tombs of Tal Rasha. Area level 76. Let me see if I am... If I have my stats up to date. Let me check. Oh, level 83. Oh my god. My armor. I need to improve my armor. Dexterity. Yeah, I bet I need... I will eventually have to spend some points on dexterity. Required to wear certain items, provides attack rating, block chance with a shield, increases damage on some builds. Okay, no, but I needed to equip something that is like 4 times the amount of armor that I'm carrying. So let's go with dexterity. So I don't think I'm gonna make it here, but I will leave it ready so I can stabilize it next time. 143. 143. And this one's also required dexterity. See, I made it to use this stuff, for example. Defense, life regenerating per second, target takes an additional damage of 13. Well, no, not for now. That one is easy. And the skill tree? This is easy, skill tree. Ah, right, I fucked up last time. So... I needed for arcane, I need it for arcane here. For this one, spell steals damage. I should love mana. I know, but I fucked up here. Can I? What does it? How much does it take to respec my skill tree? I think you could. I think you could respec your skill tree easily now. Let me check, people.
Good day.
Reset stat skill points. Oh damn! It's free. And I'm naked. Okay. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Okay, so let us. It's free. Nice. See why I love this mob. So let me increase my dexterity so I can actually use the brimstone shell here. So 140. 3, that one there, that one unlocked. 143, please. There. I need to be ready for combat, people. For the boss. Good. 2,000. 2,664 pretty much, and the rest goes to energy. I'll take some points from vitality and strength instead. How much do I need? Strength 31. This one? This one is okay. Strength 22. 31, 34. 34. We just need 34 there. That should do it. And vitality, nothing. It goes directly all to energy. I will take from vitality the points. I'll take the points from vitality. Alright, it also resets. It would reset my skill tree. Okay, true. My bad. I have to reassign those. But well, we are about to face a boss, so pretty much. Let's keep that one to maximum. It has 100 points left, something like that. Good. No worries. Look at that the animation changed. Yeah. Okay, good. 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 There it's working. Good. Good, good, and good. But the difference will be the skill tree drop. So, emit a wave of creeping, freezing, frozen doom. This one that freezes enemies must be good. Wintertide. Warp teleports you to a target enemy. I want this one to start escaping attacks. Upgrade your energy reserves. Improve Wintertide. Wintertide teleports you to freeze length. Wintertide. Crystalline bear. Let me check. Frigid Nova. Requires a scepter or an orb. I have a scepter.
Not here.
A scepter?
Not in
What
town.
do you mean a scepter? I do have... I have a staff. True, people. Oh, fuck, true. Staff. Yeah. Would you... Don't worry, I have the portal. To Tal Rasha's tomb. Yeah, scepter. Staff. Damn it, I don't have a scepter. And what about Horadric's staff? Damn, and how do I get a scepter? I think I never looted one of those. And an orb. I never looted one of those. Ah, it must be endgame shit then. Okay. Requires a scepter or an orb. Okay. Okay, for some reason this melee spellcaster tree. Oh, somehow this one is special. I don't know how to get access to it. Okay. Charge stone that emits charge bolts on impact. Oh, warp, short range chain teleport, leaving you entangled. If you have points in mana sweep. Life regeneration per second and increases max life. Yeah, I'd say we would need that. Increases spell damage when struck and crushes attackers. Vengeful power, but this is a passive, right? These are passives. You may pick up to 2 passives. Only 2. Passive. Crystalline skin increases your defense and health. Maximum life per... And what's the difference with this? Ah, that this one has regeneration. Improved defense. Okay. Per base level max. Okay. Passive increases spell damage when struck. Sorceress spells. +1 spell damage for 6 seconds after being hit. Synergies. Chance to crash. Synergy. And then you can go for that one. Charge static novas when near enemies. Highest elemental damage stat. Damn, they designed this very well. And arcane gives you the familiar here. To learn skill 20. So I go one here, the Raven familiar, but this is not as drastic as the other ones, I think. And cast skill. +1 to all skills.